Okay, Mark. What is your stance on merging the city and county school systems into one? Please explain this would or would not be a benefit to the residents of the city of Manchester and our neighbors in the county. Would you at least be willing to put the issue on a referendum to the voters to decide? After all, the voters are deciding your rights.
I absolutely, positively, under no circumstance, would agree to consolidate schools. I want that to be known. If we consolidate our city schools, the county would have to take the city school teachers, the salaries, and over 3 years, they'd have to raise those salaries to be comparable to the city school salaries. That would cost about $2 million. I've heard estimates of anywhere from $1 to $1.25 in raised taxes in the county. The city's not going to lower its taxes, as much as I'd like to see them do that. You know, that's not going to happen. Let's be realistic. The city carries about a $10 million debt on the city school properties. The county would get the properties, the city would be left with the debt, and if you think that's a good idea, you go out tomorrow and buy me a house. You go to the bank and you finance it, you keep the debt, but you give me the house. That is just not something we need to do. And I would not be willing to put it on a referendum. It's our job, you elect us to make decisions, and I'll make decisions that may not always be right, but they'll be what I think's best. And that's the way I feel about that.
All right, thank you. That was Mark Messick. Next we have Brent Bates. Brent, what are your feelings about those currently in leadership positions in our public service departments? What would you like to see happen with those positions? Would you like to see those people continue to lead their departments, or are you hoping for change in management?
Well, I sort of agree with Wilma as far as she's trying to Brent Carter, and I've not met the fire chief yet, so I have no opinion on that one. And I think our department heads are doing a fairly decent job. I cannot point out anything particularly that would be detrimental to the city or the citizens of Manchester. From what I've seen in my city properties and stuff, I mean, Public Works Department does a great job. Police Department's doing a good job. Our government is excellent. You look at the other departments there, whether it be the dog catcher or whatever, they're doing their job. They're doing their money, which is not, I'm sure is not, they're doing more than what they're paid. I would assume that. But I don't see anything I can point out in particularly at this point in time as far as any change. Oops, sorry. As far as any change goes. And I don't see anything right now at this point. That doesn't mean my opinion won't change tomorrow. But as of right now, I don't see it.
All right, thank you.
Brent Bates. Morse. Well, do you think it is inappropriate for a city alderman to accept the insurance benefits from the city while providing quality insurance to the city's employees is certainly a key function of the city government? Should elected officials be participating in those plans? If so, is it not in effect voting for personal benefits?
First off, state law may allow it, but I don't think an elected official in a part-time job should be accepting that kind of a benefit. And I personally, of course, I'm old enough, I'm on Medicare. But if I were younger, I would not accept that. I just don't think it's appropriate.
Okay, thank you. Claude, Morse.
Next up, we have Josh Grosch. What are some key elements and ingredients for successful economic development in the city? And do you feel that Manchester is lacking any of those ingredients at this time?
Well, to kind of echo what Chris has already said, right now, as far as some of the key ingredients that we have, I know, our educational system is, in the words of the state, exemplary. And that's going to help, be attractive to, industry and retailer, whoever's bringing their business in, as far as what kind of quality of life can we give their employees that are going to relocate to our area. Manchester's recently, upgraded its technology. We're now, as far as being technologically advanced. I'm using big words for myself here. We're now a gig city, so we've got some of the fastest internet in the world here at our fingertips, which is something that I feel like is definitely attractive to outside business, and industry coming in. Right now, as far as from where I can sit and what I've seen so far, I don't feel like we're really lacking anything. I feel like we're moving in the right direction. I feel like as a city, we're growing. We're growing at an appropriate pace. Our sales tax collection is going up, which is also going to be attractive to people coming in from the outside. So currently, like I said, I feel like we've got all the right pieces in place. What we need to continue to do is to move in the proper direction, move in the right direction, to keep Manchester moving forward.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go through a round of questions. We'll have each of one. We'll have one more question to answer, and then it'll be time for closing remarks. Okay. All right. So same.
We'll keep the same order.
Okay, Mr. Hillman. All right. Let me look at my list here. Number 2. Okay. All right. What are some of the feelings that you might have in the leadership positions in our public service departments, in all of our leadership roles, such as police, fire, whatever it might be? Would you like to see those people in charge right now continue, or would you be looking at change in those departments?
Okay, thank you. At this very moment, I wouldn't see any reason to change any offices or anyone that's currently in office. I've lived here for about 7 years, and I've talked to lots of my neighbors and citizens of Manchester, and I really have heard fewer complaints, about major city services of any city that I've ever lived in. And I've lived in Laverne, Murfreesboro, both Nashville and Chattanooga, both. And so, no, I don't see at this point any reason to change any major appointments or department heads. Things can always change, but at this point, it seems like almost everything here is running extremely well. I just want to see it continue to move forward.
All right, thank you. That was Terence Wilson. Next up, we have Missy Deford. All right, Missy, do you think that it would be inappropriate for city aldermen to accept insurance benefits from the city? While providing quality insurance is certainly a key function of the government, should aldermen accept that benefit?
I think currently that the aldermen that are in office, what they did is fine because they were offered it and they took it. I think in the future, I think that's something that should be voted on. I think that it's not a good idea. Like someone else said, the county commissioners, they're not offered insurance, and it is a part-time job. I think that in the future, that probably is something that needs to change, that we need to change the insurance benefits, and that shouldn't be allowed in the future.
All right, thank you. That was Missy Deford.
Next is Wilma Thomas. Okay. Gets confusing after a while. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's see. Yes. What is your stance? I think you kind of briefed on this before about the merger of the city and county school systems. I'll allow you to go into that a little more now. Please explain if this would or would not benefit the residents of the city or the county, and would you be at least willing to put it on a referendum for the voters to decide?
Well, as I stated before, I am totally in agreement with keeping our city school system. I'm kind of like Mr. Messick. I'm not totally against putting it out for a vote, but I think if you elect us to do a job, I think that that's what we ought to do. And I'm going to tell you again, I'm going to reiterate what I said before. Our school system is such a big part of our community here. We have wonderful teachers, we have wonderful principals. I'm kind of really on the fence a little bit about, like I said, about putting it out for referendum, because I think that if we're elected, and if I'm elected, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that I will make a decision. I'm not afraid to make a decision, and I will certainly make a decision. And our school system is third in the state, so even if we do spend a little bit of more money maybe than we're supposed to, I still think our school system, our children are worth it. Thank you very much. Got the bell again. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman, for your comments. Reminding everyone on the radio, you are listening to the Manchester Times Thunder Radio Political Forum at the Manchester Coffee County Conference Center, talking to candidates for Manchester Alderman. We have 11 candidates on stage.
Okay, radio audience, what you gotta do is top the hour, Peter.
Oh, and you're listening live to WMSR AM 1320, right?
In Manchester, Tennessee.
In Manchester, Tennessee.
All right, we gotta make it legal.
We have 3 of these folks that you can select at the August 4th election. We have one incumbent running, that's Ryan French. He is up next. Ryan, would it be in the best interest of the city to hire a full-time city manager to conduct day-to-day operations of the city? If not, I'm going to change that question a little bit. If not, how do you see operations of the city moving forward? Is it best with Alderman and the board as it is, or do you think someone suggested other management positions being hired? How would you see that moving forward?
Well, I'm not against the idea of a city administrator. The fact of the matter is, the mayor position is a part-time position. Now, our mayor works probably 55 hours a week. I see him up there more than anywhere else. But I'm not against the idea of a city administrator. I know it hasn't worked in the past, but there's examples all around so where it does work. If you want to make the argument about it being a political position, which is a legitimate argument, because if someone gets mad that they're going to fire them and all this, and that's happened in the past, as I understand. But you can look at other systems across the country where they've done things like a chief of staff, for example, someone that it is a political position. The mayor hires them. They work for the mayor's office, and they act as the city administrator. And no one has the ability to fire them other than the mayor, and of course the voters when you go to vote. So those are, again, it's not cut and dry. I understand the sentiment that you could have this political atmosphere, but there's political atmosphere with every one of these positions. Trust me, I've been up there. I've served on this board where they've tried to fire several people in the past, and and those positions are essentially administrators of whichever department that they're in already. So a collective administrator, I don't think, is a step too far above what we're already doing. Once we hire a department head, that person is responsible for the administration of that department already. So we're already doing that. We already have the political atmosphere that these folks spoke of. But again, that's something to consider moving forward, and particularly as our city continues to grow, continues to progress, and things, and the demand from the state, which, the demands that come down from the state are changing constantly, particularly with codes and things like that. And so it's not bad to have your ducks in a row. So it would certainly be something I'd entertain if it was something that was feasible that we could pay for, and it'd be an effective position for us.
Thank you. That was Ryan French.
Chris Elam. Candidates done. Chris, what are your feelings about leadership positions in the city of Manchester? I think it's been brought up several times. People say this and say that around town, and I think it's important that we get positions on that, because there are people out there that each time an election comes around, they're thinking, oh man, am I going to keep my job? Am I not going to keep my job? So tell me about your feelings in those leadership roles. Do you feel that departments are being run correctly now? Are you hoping for some changes? What is your position on that?
No, I don't have any changes that I would want to do if I got elected. I think Manchester is being led by the right people. And then also, when you're talking about changes, you're talking about somebody losing their job, and that's somebody's family maybe not having the income or food or something. So I'm against just going in and firing people just because of personal problems I have with somebody. I definitely don't see any change. If I'm elected, I'm not going in to change anybody's jobs. I just don't agree with that. I think Manchester's being led in the right direction by all the head departments. So, I'm happy with the direction we're going and just continue to move in that.
Thank you. That was Chris Elam. Next we have Sam Miller. Sam, I think you said that your wife was a teacher before, so we'll talk to you about schools. What is your stance on a potential merger of the city and the county school systems into one? And please explain why you think this would or would not be a benefit to the residents of the city and the neighbors in the county.
When I was the fire chief, I was in the school system quite often. I think we got a fine school system. If it's not broke, I don't see fixing it. I think the teachers are doing a good job. Teachers just, like I said, my wife was a teacher, and she worked on grading papers and everything till midnight, had to pull money out of her pocket. I think our city school system is doing a good job, and I wouldn't be for, unless the citizens wanted to vote it, I wouldn't be for it. But I would like to touch on something. I keep saying I didn't want to touch, but I'd like to touch on the city administrator. I work for 2 city administrators, and we've had fine mayors here, Mayor Brown, Lonnie, all of them. They do a good job running the city. I work for 2 city administrators, and they micromanage. I can tell you, for instance, one time the city administrator called me up, said a woman didn't know where her hydrant was. Wanted me to go out, find where the hydrant was, and come back and tell him. Well, while I was there, she came out. So I showed her where her hydrant was. Went back to City Hall. City manager got just told, I mean, he just cussed me and everything else because I didn't come back and tell him so he could call. I was the fire chief, and I'm totally against any more city administrators. Maybe down the road, I know they've worked in Tullahoma, but I was there 19 years and I worked for 2 of them. And I worked for some good mayors that ran the system. And back to the teachers, I think the teachers are doing a good job. Like I said, my pay, I'm gonna donate to the teachers. My wife worked hard as a school teacher. She was a school teacher for about 5 years. She got MS and she couldn't teach anymore. The teachers need a pat on the back for the job they do. And, you know, they should be able to teach.
10 seconds.
I'm done.
All right. That was good.
All right, next up is Bob Bellamy. Hi, Bob. What are some key ingredients for successful economic development in any city, and do you feel Manchester is lacking in any of those ingredients?
Manchester is halfway between everywhere in the world. We have a super great location. We have had businesses and we have had industries come to us and want to locate here. The problem is we have lagged behind in getting the infrastructure ready. When a business wants to come to Manchester, Tennessee better be ready for them or they're going somewhere else. We need to improve our infrastructure. We need to have it available and ready so when the industry decides they love Manchester because we're halfway between everywhere, short distance to the interstate, when they come and want to go to Manchester, we don't have to say, well, I'm sorry, but we've got to wait about 6, 8, 10 months till we get the water out there or we get a road built. We need to have things in place so when they're ready for us, we're ready for them.
Next we have Mark Messick.
Hey, can I just clarify one thing while I'm waiting on that?
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure everybody understands that I am not for a referendum when it comes to merging, consolidating schools.
All right.
Make sure that's understood.
Thank you. All right, let's do this one right here. What are your feelings about those in leadership positions within our city government, whether it's police, fire, water? How do you feel about the job they're doing? Would you like to see them continue forward, or would you like to look at possible changes within our city government?
Well, I think I can make this pretty short and sweet. I think everybody that is the head of departments are doing a good job. A lot of departments have cut their budget. Some of them have cut their staffing, and that's what we need. If you're doing a good job, let's don't mess it up. But now you can't just turn everybody loose. You kind of got to keep a hand on everybody and make sure that they are doing a good job. Don't let them get out of control. My mama told me a long time ago that when you ran out of something to say, to shut up and sit down. And that's what I'm going to do.
Next up is Brent. Do you think it is inappropriate for city aldermen to accept the insurance benefits from the city while providing the insurance to the city employees? Is certainly a key function of the city government. Should elected officials be participating in those plans?
Well, with the alderman's position being a part-time position, and I don't think the taxpayers and citizens, residents of Manchester should be paying health insurance for all of them. I understand Ryan's position as far as what he was referring to with the state insurance and everything else, but whether it be $750 per alderman or $500 or whatever it may be, I just feel like that should stay back in our taxpayers' pockets. The aldermen should, themselves support their own health insurance like I do for my family and doing a group for my employees. So the answer is no, I don't think she should have insurance.
Okay. All right, thank you. Ryan, your name was mentioned, and as we said in the rules, if your name is mentioned and you want to say something in return, you have 30 seconds.
Sure. Well, I mean, I can point on a couple different issues here that, in reference to the insurance, what Ms. Deford touched on. I'm not opposed to bringing it up and discussing it. Yeah, I am on the city insurance plan. I've been elected for 7 years. I've taken it for 2. Okay, I only took it at the time when it became actually a better plan than what the plan I was eligible for at work. It's always been a cheaper option for me, so it wasn't a financial decision. It's always been a cheaper option. It just turned into a better option. As far as a lot of these opinions are, I think we got to break it down into facts. You've got to look down. You got to look at the financial breakdown of it, and if it's supported by state law or if it's not. But I'm always open for bringing things up and discussing it. That's what we're elected to do. I'm not going to make a concrete stance on something and say I'll never change my opinion, because if you don't change your opinion on certain things, then you probably are in the wrong business if you're seeking office.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. French.
All right, next we have Claude Morse.
Well, while you're getting ready for the question, I'd like to make a comment.
Leaving an opening. Go ahead.
It was, one of the questions is about city employees. Are you going to keep your current leadership and everything? Last election, there was a rumor spread that I was going to fire the police chief, the fire chief, and cut all the benefits for city employees and cut city employees. That was baloney then, and it's not true now. If I'm elected, we will constantly evaluate the performance of every department of city government, and we go from there.
All right, let's try this one. 30 seconds to answer. What is your stance on merging the city and county schools and into one, and why would this or would it not be a benefit to the residents of the city and the neighbors in the county?
I'm against it, and here's the reason why. It's a selling point for the city of Manchester. We have an exceptional school system, one of 12 in the state. Westwood Elementary School is the 3rd best in the state of Tennessee. And again, as is pointed out, if we were to abandon our city school system and let it merge with the county, they would pick up all the facilities, but we'd still be paying the debt on it. And we'd lose control of the education of our students in Manchester. So I'm against it.
Thank you very much. That's Claude Morse.
Next up is Josh Grosch.
That's a work mistake.
It's okay. Okay, we're going to finish up with this question, and then we'll be moving into closing remarks from the candidates. Final question for the candidates tonight. Would you be interested in hiring a full-time manager administrator for the city? The city is a multi-million-dollar business. Some people don't like to call it business, which those dollars affect each person who lives in the city limits. Tullahoma, McMinnville, Shelbyville have comparable populations and have city managers. What is your opinion on that?
Hiring a city administrator is not something I would be completely opposed to. Like it's been brought up, of course, several times. We've had them in the past. I think, as with any position, not just the heads of our departments, which by the way are doing a fantastic job. A city administrator, you have to find the right person, and you can't find that micromanager that's going to come around to every department every day and want to run each individual department. You have to let your people do their job. So, in essence, I'm going to do like Mr. Messick, keep it short and sweet, because we've ran a long time. I think, it's something I'd be open to in the future, but it's something as a board that we'd really have to put a lot of thought into, and you'd really have to do your due diligence as far as making sure you get the right person for the job, not just the most convenient person.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, that was Josh Grosch. Actually, we're not too far behind, and I think we're only about 5 or so minutes over the hour that we were going to go. I don't want to cut the closing arguments out for these folks altogether. They worked hard, but we're going to cut it down to 30 seconds all the way across the board. So if everyone wants to come up one at a time, we'll start with Mr. Hillsman, and we'll do 30 seconds for closing remarks.
I would like to thank everybody for coming out this evening. I've served on the city's water and sewer board since 2013. I would be totally against the school merger. I just want to make that clear. I am for fairness for all citizens. I am for freedom for all citizens. I am for increased opportunities for all citizens. I would like to serve and promote the city of Manchester. And I would appreciate your vote. Early voting starts tomorrow. Election August the 4th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Terence Hillsman. Next, we have Missy Deford. 30 seconds.
Like he said, I would like to thank everyone for being here tonight. I feel like I'm one of you all. I will work diligently to listen to all the taxpayers, employees, the voters. I'll treat you the way that I want to be treated. And to go ahead and answer another question, if I am to get elected in, I don't plan on getting rid of any of the city management. I think as long as everyone's doing their job, I have no problem with that. I think everyone's doing a great job. And I'll work hard for this community if I do get elected. Thank you.
Thank you, Missy Deford. Next, we have Wilma Thomas. 30 seconds.
Okay, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I have really enjoyed being here with you and sharing some ideas with you. I would humbly ask you for your vote. This is a city that I love. I love our community. I love our people here. We have a wonderful city. We have wonderful people. And I just sincerely believe that if I'm elected, I think that I will be accessible to all of our citizens. You can call me anytime, and I am, like Mr. Morse, I'm retired and I work part-time, but I will certainly be there to answer any questions. I will do my very, very best. I will be committed to the people of Manchester. That's where my heart is. My heart is with y'all, and I thank you very much, and please vote Wilma Thomas. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Wilma Thomas. Next, we have Ryan French. 30 seconds.
I'll just close by saying this. 4 years ago, I'm going to put it bluntly, we inherited an absolute mess. We walked into a mayor's office that didn't have a single sheet of paper in it, not a single email to read. There were grants that were left behind, that were thrown away, shredded, and trashed. We started over 4 years ago. In 4 years, we have turned around an economic model that wasn't working. We turned around a financial model within the city that wasn't working. We have built reserves back up. We canceled out terrible unfunded plans like a $3 million police department. And we hired the right people for the right positions. We have people working right now in our departments that are moving the needle, that are getting things done. This isn't about complacency. This isn't about voting for someone that's just going to, I'll make the right decision when I think it's the right decision. It's about being innovative. It's about leading. And it's not about managing the city. There's a key point we're talking about with the city administrator position. As an alderman, we're policy people. We are not administrators. It is not our job to go and tell a department head what to do and how to do it. That's not what we're elected to do. We're elected to create policy, effective policy, and put it into place. The mayor's job is to make sure that that policy is administrated. We've done a very effective job of that the last 4 years, and I think we can do a very effective job of that moving forward and continue to build these relationships and partnerships in our community and moving the needle for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Ryan French. Next, we have Chris Elam. 30 seconds.
I want to thank everybody for coming out, the listeners that are listening on the radio. I can promise you one thing, that if I get elected, I will work very hard to serve you the best that I can. My door will always be open, my phone will always be on ring, you can call me at any time. I promise you I will make the best decisions possible, and please vote for me, Chris Elam. Thank you.
Next we have Sam Miller, 30 seconds.
I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. One thing I left out in my opening statement, I'm for term limits too. If you're not, I think we need to set some kind of term limit so we can get new people in every so often. And two things that I'm running for is make your quality of life for the citizens and employees a better place. We've got a good city. I'm retired. I've got time to put into it to do the job, and I think we've got a great city and we need to go forward, and I appreciate your vote.
Thank you. That was Sam Miller. Next we have Bob Bellamy, 30 seconds.
First of all, our city schools, leave them alone. Second, infrastructure expanded so business and industry can come. Third, on the back of every card I've passed out and every door hanger I've left, there's a phone number on the back. That's for your ideas and your suggestions to get to me. It's time the people that get elected to office start listening to the people that put them in office. It's time that Manchester moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Bob Bellamy. Next we have Mark Messick, 30 seconds.
Well, I just want to thank you guys, Thunder Radio, Manchester Times for having this, and I want to thank the conference center and the people that set this up. I appreciate it. I know that I have one promise that I can make you, and I can stand behind that promise. And that's the promise that I'll do the best I can to do what's right. Not always what's easy, but what's right, and what I feel is right. And I'll do that for as long as I'm in office. Tomorrow, early voting begins. I hope you go out. I really hope you go out and vote for me. But if you're not going to vote for me, go vote for somebody. Just vote. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mark Messick. Next we have Brent Bates, 30 seconds.
I'd like to thank you and Thunder Radio, Manchester Times, and everybody showing up here at this time of evening. I really do appreciate it. Now, as far as I go in business and life, I've learned, being a member of International Council Shopping Centers 25 years and so forth, I can be very assertive, and I can stand my ground very heavily. But I'm also flexible. I can compromise, and I can also look at both sides of any issue. My biggest thing is this: networking with manufacturers and or retailers is the name of the game. We must have more manufacturing inside the state of Lynchburg and increase our tax base. That is the biggest thing that I see that we need to do. And I appreciate everyone coming out and would ask for your vote and support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next we have Claude Morse.
Well, since we have 30 seconds, in the back you'll find sheets on the table there that have all the things I would like to say, but we don't have time. But the key thing is, I'm offering my services. I have 40 years of leadership, management, budget, marketing, and public relations experience. I can help the city develop a long-range business plan that will be our roadmap to bring in those new industries and new residents to our city. And we need to emphasize the quality of life we have in this town. We've got a great town located in a great, right off the interstate that has all kinds of possibilities, and we need to take advantage of that. We have a great quality of life. We need to sell that to people to come here. And we need to identify more closely with Arnold Air Force Base. Tullahoma kind of claims they're the home of Arnold. We're closer.
10 seconds.
It took me 12 minutes to drive to work with the sun behind me and the same coming home. It's a lot longer in Tullahoma. All the new people coming into the base, we really need to attract them and attract more businesses here to support. I ask for your vote. I appreciate it. God bless Manchester, Coffee County, and the United States of America.